you have been very tough on Huawei, even under pressure. You've been very consistent with the ban, even though you've said you have a good working relationship with China and they're important for your economy. Do you plan to continue to support the United States in the tough stance on China? And can you give any more specifics about what you've told the President you would do to help in his measures to reach a fair trade deal?
Well, first of all, I mean, we have the most perfect of relationships with the United States, and goes back a century and more, as the President was reminding us on the lawn this morning. We have a comprehensive strategic partnership with China. This is the part of the world in which we live, and managing that relationship is important to Australia's national interests. One thing I can always assure you, and I think the President can say the same, we will always, both of us, act in the national interests of our countries. We will always put our country's interests first. And that means engaging countries in our own region, not just economically, but at a people-to level as well. We have a lot of operations we do together right across the world, militarily, and we'll continue to do those. But the focus, I think, at the end of the day, has to be what's best for our people. And that means a stable, secure region, and the presence of the United States in the Indo-Pacific, where they have been for a very long time, is a stabilising force in the region. And what does that mean? It means that countries can trade with each other, economies can develop, people come out of poverty. The United States has had a positive presence in our region, and that's why we always work together, because we share objectives. It isn't a matter of the United States saying to us, we need you to do this, or Australia saying to the United States, we need you to do this. It's about us having shared objectives and looking through the world through a similar lens. And so that just naturally brings us together to focus on the things that promote prosperity. As I started out in my remarks today, we love jobs, the President and I. We love jobs. And we like them jobs here, and we like jobs everywhere. And when people have jobs, well, they tend to focus a bit more on the things that are going on in their lives every day, and making sure they can live peacefully with each other.
And one of the things important, I think, is during our meeting, we discussed, I said, what percentage of your military do you buy from us? And the answer was we work it together, or it's about 100%. It's close to 100%. And we make the best equipment. He understands that. But it's a real relationship. They buy 100% of their military, and it's a massive purchase. And it's gotten bigger. I guess you said the biggest purchase since World War II.
Yeah, we'll be at 2% of GDP next year, and that comes up from what was the lowest level of defence spending as a share of the economy since prior to the Second World War. So it's a $200 billion investment, and a lot of that's being built in Australia, but it's also being built in partnership with the United States and other allies. So it's an important part of what we're doing. But I think David Crowe from Australia was next.
Thank you very much. David Crowe from the Sydney Morning Herald and The Age. Further on the questions on Iran, Mr. President, you've praised the Australian commitment today to deal with Iran in the Persian Gulf. And in your talks today with Mr. Morrison, did you discuss further military action in order to keep the pressure on Iran? What might those military actions be, and what could Australia contribute to that?
So
and Mr. Morrison, on that same
Hold on
issue,
1 second. You'll get a second, Craig. You get a shot at your Prime Minister. I'm sure you're looking forward to it. We didn't discuss too much Iran. We discussed more trade, more China. We discussed Afghanistan, where Australia's helping us, and we're slowly reducing in Afghanistan, as people know. We've been very effective in Afghanistan, and if we wanted to do a certain method of war, we would win that very quickly. But many, really tens of millions of people would be killed. And we think it's unnecessary. But Australia's been a great help to us in Afghanistan. But we're reducing in Afghanistan. We're reducing in Syria, where we had, we've taken over 100% of the caliphate. We have 100%. When I came in, it was smaller, but it was a mess. It was all over. And now it's in a position, and I won't repeat what I said before with the prisoners, but we have thousands of ISIS fighters from our work in capturing 100% of the caliphate. And we're asking the countries from where they came, whether it's Germany or France or other countries, to take those people back, put them on trial, do what they have to do with them. But the United States will not keep thousands and thousands of people for the next possibly 50 years or whatever it may be. It's going to be up to those countries. We did them a big favor. We went in. We took them down. The ISIS fighters, in the end, weren't very good fighters against the United States. But we have thousands of them, and we want them to be taken over by Germany, France, and all of those countries from where they came. Okay?
Thank you. And Mr. Morrison, on the same issue of Iran, are you open to further military action against Iran, or is the Australian commitment solely contained to a freedom of navigation patrol exercise?
Well, as the President said, I mean, there are no further activities planned or requested for assistance from Australia. So the question to that extent is moot. And I want to commend the President, who's demonstrating, as he said in the earlier press conference in the Oval Office, restraint. There are other measures that he and the Secretary have announced today, and they are pursuing those channels. So the calibrated, I think, very measured response that the United States is taking has been a matter for them, and obviously at any time when issues are raised with us as an ally, we consider them on their merits at the time in Australia's national interest. So I think that's where that's heading.
Well, thank you very much. And Jennifer, thank you very much. First Lady, thank you. And I hope you're going to be able to see tonight to the media, because really it's going to be a beautiful evening in honor of Australia and the Morrisons. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.